Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I have a fun, unique video idea for you, and I haven't seen this done anywhere else on YouTube. If you have, definitely let me know down below. I could have missed it. I thought of this video idea a few nights ago, and I thought it would be really fun. So it's a battle of the brands, and I'm taking today two drugstore brands, putting them head to head in every single category, like primers, foundations, concealers, all that stuff, and then seeing which one comes out on top. So if you guys like this idea, definitely let me know your ideas for future battle of the brands, and I will definitely keep making these videos if you guys like it. The only thing I would say is try to compare similar brands or brands that it's going to be like a tough call, because I don't think it's fair to compare like ColourPop and Revlon, because obviously I'm going to like ColourPop a lot more. So if there's something really obvious like that, I don't think it would be as interesting to watch. But today I picked two brands that I felt like I have a lot of things that I like from both, and that's Milani and Maybelline. So let's go ahead and get into it, and we'll start with the first category, which is primers. Now, Maybelline definitely, I think, has more options in the primer category. They have their Master Prime line that has the regular version. They have like a hydrating version, a color correcting one. They also have the Baby Skin Primer, which reminds me a lot of that classic Smashbox Photo Focus Primer. So while I don't normally reach for any of these primers regularly, I do think that they're pretty decent overall, at least from what I remember. Milani seems to have actually discontinued a lot of their primers, like the Prime Light and Prime Protect. The only one that seemed to be left was the Rose Primer, and I really love that one for adding some much needed hydration to my skin. But for me, it's kind of more like a moisturizer than a primer, at least for what I need a primer to do, like smooth out pores and fine lines. You might have totally different needs when it comes to a primer, but that's just my opinion. So I think I would go with Maybelline on this one for now. Actually, I just saw on Ulta's website that Milani had launched some brand new primers. They have one that is the Supercharged Dewy Primer. They have one called SPF BFF 30. They have the Chill Out Smoothing Primer and also the Bright Side Illuminating Primer. So once I get a chance to actually try those out, since they literally just dropped this week, and I'm guessing those are replacing the old ones that are discontinued on their website. So once I get a chance to try those, my opinion might completely change. Those might blow the Maybelline ones out of the water, but at least for right now, from what I know, I would say the Maybelline ones are my top pick, so they would be my winner in this category. Next up, we have foundations, and Maybelline definitely has a lot of foundations that I really enjoy. They have the Fit Me foundation, the dewy and smooth one is my favorite, but they also have the matte and poreless, so you have that option. They also have the Dream Radiant Liquid, which is the one I'm wearing today. I really like that one too. And the Age Rewind Eraser. I know a lot of people talk about the Age Rewind Concealer, but there's actually a foundation version of it, and it's really, really nice, especially if you have more mature skin. But when it comes to Milani, I haven't had the best luck with their foundations. The Screen Queen one kind of didn't build upon itself, and it kept lifting off and breaking up throughout the day, and the Conceal and Perfect one was way too dry on my drier skin. So I've actually never found a foundation that I really love from Milani, so I'm gonna have to give this category to Maybelline as well. Next up, we have concealer, and this one was so hard because I actually like the concealers from both brands. On the Maybelline side, we have the Age Rewind and also the Fit Me concealer. Those are both phenomenal. The Maybelline Age Rewind has the least coverage, so it's really good for just like brightening the eye area, or if you don't need to hide a lot, or just like on a really casual makeup day. The Fit Me actually has a little bit more coverage, but it is so creamy and looks really natural and skin-like, and it has really great medium coverage. And very similar to that one is the Milani Conceal and Perfect. That one is one of my favorite drugstore concealers, just like the Fit Me. I feel like they have a really similar consistency. They kind of, in a way, remind me of the NARS Creamy Concealer, because they just have that really creamy feel. If you have dry skin or fine lines under your eyes, they don't make that look worse. They don't look cakey, and they just are really nice and lightweight, but at the same time, they cover nicely. So I don't know. I think I'm going to have to actually give this category a tie, because I can't decide between either one. I think they both have awesome concealers. Next up, let's talk blushes. I think this one was very easy for me, so we'll see what you guys think down in the comments below. But for Maybelline, they have the Fit Me blushes, which were kind of okay, but they're not my favorite blush in the world. I think they have decent pigmentation and a smooth formula, but I just feel like they're a bit boring. They've been around forever. I'd really love to see Maybelline come out with something new and fun in the blush category. And their Cheek Heat blushes also. They made my worst of 2020 video because they were so sticky and they went on super patchy and just didn't build upon themselves. I really disliked those a lot. When it comes to Milani though, Milani has fantastic blushes. They have their baked blushes, which are so silky with that really beautiful sheen to them. They have the rose blushes, which are really nicely pigmented, and they come in these gorgeous colors. They also have the Cheek Kiss liquid and cream blushes, which came out in 2020, and those are some of my absolute favorite cream and liquid blushes at the drugstore. They're not sticky, they blend beautifully on your cheeks, they dry down all the way, they build upon themselves perfectly. So it's kind of funny that between these two brands, I had my least favorite and most favorite cream blushes. But anyway, I think this category is pretty obvious for me. I'm gonna give this one to Milani for sure. The next category I have is bronzer, and Maybelline has actually a really nice bronzer. It's the City Bronzer, and I don't always hear a lot of people talking about this one, but I think it's a nice formula. It blends really easily. I think the color that I have it in is pretty nice, but then on the flip side, Milani has the Silky Matte Bronzer, and if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that that is my holy grail bronzer. I love that one so much. Not only is the color Sunkissed absolutely perfect, but the formula is just so finely milled and it's just absolutely beautiful. It blends like a dream. It never looks muddy or like grabs different spots on your face. And I just think it's beautiful. And Milani also has a baked bronzer, which is also gorgeous if you like a bronzer with a little bit of a sheen to it. This one is just so super smooth and it looks amazing on the skin, kind of like the Hourglass powder, I guess because they're both baked, but it's just beautiful. So this category I'm also gonna have to give to Milani. All right, so we're about halfway through the list, and so far Milani has 2, Maybelline has 2, and we have a tie. So it's actually dead even at this point. That is super weird how that worked out. All right, so next category is highlighters, and we have the Maybelline Master Chrome highlighters. These are actually beautiful highlighters. I haven't heard anybody talk about them in a while because they're a little bit older of a product, but if you like a really bold highlight, they're gorgeous. They also have a Master Chrome cream formula, so if you love a cream highlight, these are also super beautiful. They're very smooth, they're not glittery, so I really like those a lot. So those are both really awesome, but other than that, I don't think Maybelline has a really extensive highlighter range, but Milani actually has a lot of different things to pick from. They have their baked highlighters, which again, I love a baked formula, and these are some of the best. They go on so beautifully, and you can either wear them very subtly or you can build them up and make them really pop. They also have these duo highlighters, which are beautiful as well. They have a cream on one side and a powder side, so they're really, really smooth. They're versatile. You can do a lot with it, and they're so smooth. They're not chunky or glittery at all. They also have strobe light powders that are beautiful if you like a more bold highlight, and then the same with their Stellar Lights palette. That one too is really gorgeous if you like a beaming kind of highlight. So I don't know, I'm gonna have to go with Milani on this one. Even though I like Maybelline's, I think this was just really, really close, but I think because Milani has so many different options to choose from more subtle highlights all the way up to more bold, I'm gonna give it to them because Maybelline's Master Chromes are a little bit intense, and I like how Milani has the option of the baked one or the duos that have the cream side, so you can kind of pick and choose your highlighter that you like the best. All right, so then the next category is mascara. This was also a really easy choice for me. I feel like Maybelline is very well known for their mascaras. When you go into any drugstore, they have like this dizzying array of different ones to choose from. It's hard to know even what to pick, but some of my favorites have been the Lash Sensational, the Falsies, the Colossal one is really good. The Lash Discovery that has the tiny little brush is awesome. I mean, there's so many great Maybelline mascaras. And then on the flip side, there's 2 mascaras from Milani that I've tried, the Highly Rated and Dangerous Lengths, and they really didn't do that much for me. I just felt like they were okay in terms of length and volume, but they gave me more of a natural look versus that false lash look that I'm usually looking for. So I know it's just a matter of opinion, and maybe some of you guys love those mascaras, but for me, if I had to choose, I would definitely go with Maybelline in the mascara category. But I do have to say, Milani has an awesome lash primer. It's called the Violet one. I know that's not really a mascara, but check that one out if you're in need of a good lash primer because it rivals, I think, the Lancome one. It's a really, really good dupe. All right, so the next category is eyeshadow, and this is where it gets really, really tricky for me because I feel like Historically, Milani has always had the best eyeshadows at the drugstore. They were amazing. Their 12 pan palettes, like the Soft and Sultry and Pure Passion, were amazing. They're still some of my best, most favorite eyeshadow palettes in my collection to this day. Even their Everyday Eyes palettes, the little ones, those are also great. But their newer gilded palettes just are not the same quality, especially when it comes to the matte shades. I feel like they're so powdery and they don't stick to my skin very well, so it's hard to build up the color without a primer. And even with a primer, I just feel like they don't stick as well as I want them to. They don't compare to the original. Now, I know I've mentioned several times that I'm not a fan of the new Milani formula. I don't want to sound like a broken record, but it's not the most horrible eyeshadow formula in the world either. I can definitely make it work. I'm actually wearing the Luster Light palette today from the Gilded collection, and I mean, with the right primer and with a little bit of finesse, you can definitely get a pretty eye look out of it. So I think when I'm down on them all the time, it's just because compared to the old formula, these are just disappointing. But I don't think they're a horrible eyeshadow formula either. I don't mean to sound that way. But then when it comes to Maybelline, they're the complete opposite. I felt like their old eyeshadow formula was completely awful. They had those nude palettes, like the blushed nudes, and then they had like a regular nudes one, I think. And those I just felt like were so powdery and so chalky. The City Mini palettes weren't horrible, but they were kind of hit or miss. Some were good and some were not so good. I thought their single eyeshadows are pretty good, but I just really don't reach for eyeshadow singles like that very often. And then they launched those Lemonade and Soda palettes, and those were just okay. They weren't terrible either, but they kind of reminded me a little bit of the new Milani formula with the super silky mattes that don't want to stick to your skin very well, and then, you know, the decent shimmer shades, because I feel like the Milani ones, I don't know if I mentioned that, but the shimmer shades in their palettes are really good too. It's really the mattes that I have the issue with. But then Maybelline's newest offering, Nudes of New York, showed up last year, and it was one of my favorite drugstore products of 2020. I just felt like they stepped up that formula so much. They have really creamy shimmers and more pigmented mattes that are easier to work with, that actually stick around. They're not super powdery. So if I had to compare newer formulas, I would say Maybelline would win because I like the formula of Nudes of New York better than I do the Gilded palettes from Milani. But at the same time, even though the older Milani palettes are being discontinued, at least I think they are. They've been on sale forever now. They're still around. I know a lot of people have seen them in stores still. You can still get them online. So because those are still around, I'm gonna still go with Milani for this category. This was super hard. But I think overall, because they have that stellar formula that, to be honest with you, even though I like the Nudes of New York from Maybelline, Milani's older palettes, I think still beat that one out. So I'm gonna have to go with them for now. Once their older palettes are completely gone and possibly Maybelline continues this Nudes of New York formula and comes out with more palettes, then things may change. But for now, I think Milani will get this category. All right, and then the last category I also made really difficult for myself, and that's lip products. And I think both brands, again, have so many amazing lip products. Maybelline has the Super Stay crayons, which are so smooth and feel weightless on the lips. They have amazing coverage. They have the lifter glosses, which is another one I've completely fallen in love with this past year. They have the Color Sensational lipsticks, which is a really nice formula for a bullet lipstick. And they also have the newer Color Sensational Shine Compulsion ones, which are kind of more like tinted lip balms. I haven't tried their Super Stay ink lip colors, but they seem to have pretty good reviews. I'm just not really a matte liquid lipstick person. Then Milani, on the other hand, has some really comparable lip products, and I just feel like this is going to be so hard. They have the Keep It Full Nourishing Lip Plumper and the Ludicrous Lip Gloss, which are also favorites of mine. They're both non-sticky lip glosses that make your lips look so smooth and hydrated, and they also have the Ludicrous Lip Crayon, which I think is really similar to the Maybelline Super Stay crayons. It has that same really lightweight but creamy feel with tons of pigmentation. They also have the Color Statement Bullet Lipsticks, which are really pigmented in one swipe and feel really creamy. Again, similar to the Maybelline Color Sensational lipsticks. And the new Color Fetish lipsticks are wonderful as well. They're like a really pigmented tinted lip balm. Another amazing lip product from Milani too is their Rose Lip Balm. I wear that one at night and it's the creamiest, most nourishing lip balm ever. It's replaced my Laneige lip mask and my Bite Beauty Agave lip mask. So yeah, this one is so hard. I don't know which one to pick, honestly, because like I go back and forth. I love so many of Maybelline's formulas. I like so many of Milani's. I don't know. I might have to go with another tie on this one, guys. Really, I don't know. I can't pick a favorite. All right, guys, we've come to the end. So let's go ahead and tally up all the votes. With Maybelline, they won in the primer, foundation, and mascara category. Milani won in the blush, bronzer, eyeshadow, and highlighter categories, although the eyeshadow and highlighter I feel like were really, really close. And then for the concealer and lip product categories, we had a tie. So that brings the total for Maybelline to 5 wins and Milani gets 6. So Milani beats out Maybelline by just a hair. But again, I think some of those categories could have gone either way. So I think these two brands are both favorites of mine at the drugstore for a reason, because I think they have really solid products in each category. All right, guys, so that's everything. I had so much fun making this video. This was a really good time. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know down in the comments below, and also let me know your thoughts on different brands we could match up if you'd like to see me do this again. And also, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well if you're not subscribed to my channel yet, so that you don't miss out on any future videos. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me as always, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.